So I'm a seasoned vlogger. I don't know why I've got my earphone in lately. I've been doing it. So I've got my earphone in and I speak my audio. It's actually not going through my phone. It's going through my earphone because it's plugged in on this tiny box right here. So I can literally put it up to my mouth. This is what I do when I'm rapping on stage. I put it right up to my mouth. And that's the easiest way that you can deduct your audio. But I can't hear any feedback. But in the clip that is currently live, that's the only feedback, but you can tell it's crisp because it's right up close to my mouth. So, you know, audio check. Um, there's two things that, actually three. I'm gonna start with two because one time I trolled Opal this year. This ginger, I asked her if she wanted to jump or if she would jump into this fountain. I asked her like three questions. I'm like, the last one's stupid. All three of them are dumb. And she was totally into it. So I was like, I'm going to interview you because Lamont at large, he interviews people on the street. I was pretending I was him. But she wasn't on camera when I was doing this. Lamont does it on camera when he does his interviews with people on the street and he pays them. But no, you would not dive into there. So she passed that test. And I had nothing else other than that. Great icebreaker. No, that was the troll. Pulled up on her. I didn't know I'd see her. That was awesome. Trolling gingers. They're soulless, so it doesn't matter. So here's three things. This store used to be a alcohol one, but they sold to minors, and so if there's people who don't know you and they sell to you without an ID, you can get shut down. It's so sad when a place gets changed in management and you like their last managers. The owner had their kids, and I knew them at Sicko. There's been two guys at gas stations where they had like their names of the gas station, and their names of the gas station changed shortly thereafterwards when they got taken out from their business because they moved on to better things. One did, and the other didn't. So I actually worked at one, Rick's Pioneer Mobile, so he got taken down. The other guy, Mike Sicko, he got taken up. So in either case, the name of the person was an owner, and they put it in front of the name of the gas station. That's when you know you're balling, if you go down or up. But that's what it is. But the main point in case is if they ID you, that means if you're buying a product and you're an adult, you have to share your ID. But if they know you, you don't. It's a like kind of thing that's iffy. This place was iffy, so they got shut down because they didn't ID, and I guess they got a sting. If you don't know what a sting is, it's an operation where cops pull up and then you get shut down. Apparently, in this case, so this has been up for rent for more than 5 years, probably, and this is where they were selling to minors. So if you don't ID people, people do ghost shopping. If you're a ghost shopper, you go inside an establishment and you pretend like you're underage or something. I don't know. I worked at a gas station and they said beware of this, so ID people. I never found one, but there's ghost shoppers for establishments, and they try and catch you off kilter to run a sting. Ghost shoppers run stings. I can't make it any more clear than that, but that's what it is. If you don't know what a sting is, triangulation with phone tapping is huge. If you never heard an echo, then you don't know phone tapping. This is all nomenclature of what high-ranking officials use, and I'm not into being prestigious, but that's what it is. A different guy I knew filmed a music video in here. It's a washing powder. He had an influence from a song called Washing Powder. It's ostensibly not shut down. I've never been in there in years. It's a washing place where you wash your clothes. He went in there and filmed a music video. There's countless other rappers who film music videos inside washing uh, places. I've only been into one like twice to wash clothing, and I didn't even want to go in one. It is what it is. I think it's still open. Oh yeah, it was OJ Juice Man. I think he copied him for with the music video inside there. In any case, there's another horror movie that made a washing video. They had like one of the scenes of their characters in it. It was super low budget. So anything low budget shot inside of a washing store with clothing, it's no surprise because they're always open and the management is lackluster. I've never seen anyone managing it in there, and I've been in there twice. Doesn't say a lot, but it is what it is. That's not, yeah, one thing that. The second thing is if you see a reflection and there's a cop behind you, it's probably something that's bad, right? So I'm looking in this reflection and there's a car behind me, I know. So I look at the top of the car, but actually I got caught by a ticket, and it was the officer of the chief. So he had no lights on top of his car. I sped across a stop sign without stopping too long. It's called the rolling stop, and he ticketed me for a rolling stop. He had his lights on in front of his mirror inside of the car. So that's one way that an undercover cop. See, cops, they're elusive. They can show themselves as having lights on top of their car. And in the 90s, they had larger ones, but nowadays and age, they have smaller ones. But I can just tell the smaller ones on top of their car, despite from the chief who has none on top. It's equal to undercover. They have them in front of I can't make this any more clear. On top of the dash. See, this is where I'm lackluster in all my 900 videos, is I'm just dialoguing myself without any pictorials. But on top of your dash is your rearview mirror. In front of your rearview mirror, undercover cops or the chief of police, in the case where Wetton, he is retired, and the guy after him has been in trouble in the newspaper. So, I'm not trying to speak bad upon him, but it's what it is. They have it in front of their rear view mirror lights. And I'm trying to deduct my second point in reason. The point in case the car behind me isn't a cop car, but if it was, I could kind of tell, but it isn't because it's been there the whole time and they're not doing anything. The second point, I was on the bike trail, and this kind of looks like one because it's the same width. And so I had two cop cars trolling me backside. I didn't know that they were there, so I was going down the bike trail, and there's literally two cars that are cops on a bike trail. So their width of their cars, ostensibly, the same width of a bike trail, because there was two cars behind me. They're both cops following me. I can't make this up, but this is what it reminds me of. On the Cedarburg bike trail, they were there, and that's how they were following me. I looked behind my shoulder, and sure enough, there's two cop cars behind my shoulder on the bike trail following me. This was like 6 a.m. in the morning. Can't make this up. I stopped. I pulled aside. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And all of a sudden, they said, we saw a complaint with you on the bike trail. I was so thrown off. I've been thrown off twice from one sergeant I've already addressed earlier, but these two cop cars in Cedarburg, I had to pull aside and actually address them to see where they're coming from, and they want to leave as bad as I did. I said I have to go get coffee, and I left after talking to them and telling them I'm a Viking, because I don't know what they're doing. So played it safe, and I left, and nothing was happening. But the fact of the matter that they were following me, as if it's a sting, in cars on the bike trail. Can't make this up, two of them. That was the second point. The third point, I don't know, but that's beyond and above. So, is what it is. Oh yeah, my third point. A guy from Milwaukee sat in the same place where I'm sitting. His name's Devontae, and he played basketball with us. A lot of basketball lately. People have been talking about AAU. I saw this guy who was Steve, and he went out with this girl. I don't know. He has glasses now. He has the same haircut. I just saw him today. I think his name's Steve, but he was on my basketball team, and I saw him today. I think I bagged his groceries. In any case, that wasn't even part of the side notes, but in basketball, people want the establishment of a basketball. There's establishments that are like in AAU. This guy owns 7 behind me. He was my old coach, and it says open, but it's not. He's getting like $1 million renovation, and he actually started at a different coffee shop, but now he's here. It's my old coach, Coach Bode. And I asked Steve, does you know Coach Bode? No, he didn't play AAU. So there's a high school's establishment, and then Mr. Bode did AAU. In Vermont, I did this too. It's not a school team. It's a like AAU. What is AAU? Um, During the summertime, if you're still playing sports, it's in basketball called AAU. And when I went to Wisconsin, they had AAU, so I also joined them. And Mr. Bode was their coach, and so that's what it is. Steve didn't know him; he wasn't too involved. But on the same token, this other parent who saw me like twice in the last week was like, "We want to get all the team back together," and that's where Opal was in the bleachers with her. They're both gingers, despite the fact that's an establishment. AAU, aside from a schooling team, both basketball, and it was actually funny because we actually met and practiced. Even in Vermont, there was meeting and practicing with AAU, and this is what it is. And there's people who are in the bleachers and the games. That dog's a brunette. Golden retrievers are blonde. When I was 3 years old, I told this girl to try an ice break while I was going up to her closely and looking at her skin. I put this in my first vlog because I thought she had a deficit. And I told her that my hair is blonde. So there's dogs. The golden retrievers are blonde hair. That dog had just passed by. I didn't get him on camera, so I'm not doxing him. If you dox something, it's aside from an audit. But I didn't dox the dog. It had brown hair, and it was a brunette. So dogs, ostensibly canine units. I was trying to bang home what a canine is with a baboon, but I couldn't get a definite answer from a librarian and a pedestrian. And this is over 10 minutes, so it's still recording. That's funny. That guy's dashing. That's also funny because I used to on my bike, but I got DQ'd because my bike went down. Side note, my bike went down because this tire is Chinese. They only sell Chinese equipment for biking, and my tire blew out because I hit the curb with too much PSI. If you have no PSI is, I saw on TV that's an alligator bite, but PSI can be applied to any machinery. It's just what pressure is. And so if you're doing this with punching, they have fun game machines where you punch something and it shows how many pounds per square inch that you did, and it's huge. But my tire couldn't take it, so it blew out. And there's definitely a hole in it because I tried filling it up with air and free air down here, but it didn't take because there's a hole in it and there's no slime in it. Side note, slime is a thing that covers up holes inside of bikes if it's applied inside of it. I'm getting long-winded, so I got 3 points in, right? With DeMonte sitting here, he was from Brown Deer. In Wisconsin, we have Deerfield. It's my funny joke I make at the private club I'm in. It's a gym, and I'm always like, oh, I have to go to Deerfield. It's a play on with Brown Deer. Everyone knows what Brown Deer is, Milwaukee's county, and everyone in USA knows Milwaukee. So if you say Brown Deer, people in Wisconsin know. But if you're really from Wisconsin, you know what Deerfield is. So I'm always like, oh, I have to go to Deerfield. It's a play on from Brown Deer.